Hi, this is Rainbow Harmony, here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And this is a personal reading for somebody who ordered a talents and gift reading. I'm really grateful to this person because they have asked that I post this on the channel just to show everyone what a personal reading could be like, and also just in case there's anyone else out there who might be inspired by this message or who might relate to this message. So if you stumbled across this reading, perhaps it's not a coincidence. Maybe there's some information that will also come through for you. But keep in mind that this is a personal reading for a very specific person. I want to thank the person who purchased this reading because every reading that is purchased helps to support me so I'm able to continue to post free content on my channel. I truly enjoy this job and what I do and being here for you guys on the channel. I love this community, and I also want to say hello to any new subscribers who are out there. So this person has asked a question. They are wondering if they are talented when it comes to the performing arts. They have always loved dancing and singing and acting and are just wondering if one of those might be best for them. Currently, they're working in an office job and they really dislike it. They want to quit, and they're just wondering what this path would look like if they were to pursue what they love. So we're going to just see what the cards have to say. We're going to go ahead and pull some of my talents and gift cards, and we're also going to pull some spiritual gift cards over here as part of this message. And this is going to be an in-depth reading. I also want to say real quick that I just restocked my talents and gifts reading. They were out of stock for a while because I was just focusing on some of my orders, but I have more space for orders, so I put these back in stock. So if you would like a reading like this, check it out. All the information is below. So let's go ahead and start pulling a card for you. Wow. Okay, so these two just came out. All right, let's see what this is. Oh my God. You can't make this stuff up, you guys. This is the performance arts card. So you, as a confirmation of what one of your biggest artistic gifts is, of course you are gifted in performance arts. So performance arts has to do with expressing your emotions and your feelings, using your voice and your body. It can include, but is not limited to, theater, music, dance, singing, playing an instrument, performing through a medium such as performing through the internet, like on YouTube. You know how there's some people who have music channels where they do covers and stuff like that. There's even some people who use YouTube to teach others about music or teach others about singing, and to even do Skype voice lessons and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Or performing to a live audience on stage. This could include audio and video, like maybe you really like to make music yourself using programs like Logic, or maybe using the computer, the laptop, or recording your music somehow, producing music. YouTube is actually a part of performing arts. Technically, there's some people who use YouTube or their Instagram or whatever to put together skits and put it out there. I'm thinking about Amanda Cerny and her Instagram channel, her Instagram and her YouTube. It's gotten pretty big, you know. She's really doing her thing and putting together these funny skits all the time. You can even do healing. It can technically be a performance art. It just kind of depends, like if you're guiding a meditation class or something like that. I definitely think of tarot as kind of a performance art. It's very artistic, and there's even art involved. I mean, I made these cards myself, and you are performing to others. So there's some things that can be healing, but can also kind of be performance art. You could be someone who's really into speech, like giving speech or giving talks, like people who do TED Talks or lead conferences. So you could be a speaker. You could be into sound healing. Acting is on here, of course. Comedian work is on here, magician. And there's also people who like to work behind the scenes for performing arts. I put this on here for some people who maybe like to direct, or who like to design costumes or do the makeup, or work behind the scenes for some type of performance arts. But of course, you already mentioned that you like dancing, singing, music. We're gonna have to pull some other cards to kind of narrow it down to what might be best for you. If you want to pick one of these areas, we'll see which one is coming off strongest for you. But right now, we're just getting a big confirmation that this is a huge part of your path. This is a gift you definitely have. And I always tell people that pay attention to your desires. You have the desires that you have for a reason. If you keep thinking and fantasizing about doing something like dancing or singing or having your own talk show or something like that, like there's a reason for that. There's a reason that you like that and that you have that desire and that keeps coming up. Your desires are the compass that points you in the direction of your life mission and soul purpose. So let's look over here at another gift you have. This is the textile arts. So the textile arts has to do with clothing or footwear design, perhaps designing linens, furniture, needlework, knitting, quilting, embroidery, designing rugs or prints, tablecloths, curtains, tailoring, weaving, crocheting, upcycling vintage clothing, dyeing objects, designing decorative objects. So this is somebody who's really good with their hands, somebody who's very crafty. So you're very crafty as well. Maybe this is kind of a hint at maybe some type of side hustle you could make to be able to get to your dream. So let's put this aside and let's go ahead and pull your spiritual gifts, okay? What is your predominant spiritual gift? Okay, so one of your biggest spiritual gifts is the gift of claircognizance. So claircognizance means clear knowing. So this means you sometimes have the ability to know something without logic or facts. Claircognizance manifests as a strong inner knowing. So these are strong feelings or intuitive thoughts that just pop into your head. So it's when you just know something, you know, you might just randomly know the answer to something, or you might have a strong conviction. So along with the gift of claircognizance are leadership qualities. Like people come to you because they feel like you know things, or they feel like you know what to do, or they trust your guidance, or they trust your leadership abilities. So the key phrase with someone who's claircognizance is I know, and you have leadership qualities. I think that this spiritual gift really goes along well with somebody who is gifted in the performing arts. I think that this gift of claircognizance and being a leader would help you, you know, being able to have that confidence to be on stage or to perform in front of others. So it's very interesting to me. The next gift you have is the gift of divination. So this is the ability to recognize and see signs and omens. You might also have the ability to like translate them. Somebody who's gifted with divination is going to have a strong connection with nature. You might also notice changes in the weather. You might be really light sensitive or be very sensitive to your surroundings. Like if a light flickers, maybe no one else in the room will notice it, but you'll be like, oh, what was that? You know, if all of a sudden it's really sunny and then the clouds kind of just slightly drift over the sun and it kind of gets darker for a second, you're going to feel like a huge shift, maybe even a mood shift in how you feel. You might be somebody who really prefers for it to be sunny all the time, or you might actually prefer it to be cloudy or rainy. You might have a strong weather preference. I think a lot of people like it to be sunny, but for you, you might notice that your mood changes with the weather. So these are some signs you could have this gift. And also, divination, the signs can happen in many different ways. Like you could see random number synchronicities like 222, 444, 1111. You might have a strong connection with animals. You know, maybe a friend will come to you and say, you know, it's really weird. The past 3 nights, there's been this owl that's been coming to my window, and my grandmother just passed away, and I just felt like, I don't know, it was this message. And you might be like, oh my gosh, I just read this book about, you know, the omens and like how owls signify death and rebirth, and you might be able to lift your friend up and show them a beautiful meaning about what the animal totem means. Or you might have little synchronicities like that in your own life. So you might already have been interested in learning about certain signs. You might be really into numerology. You might be studying sacred geometry. You might find yourself more interested in esoteric information and knowledge. Well, obviously, because you're here getting a tarot reading, so you obviously have some kind of interest in this. So you might just kind of naturally be the kind of person who sees life as a series of synchronicity, or everything happens for a reason kind of person. And there's many different ways to look at life. It's not about this being the right way or the wrong way to look at life. This is just the way you look at it. So you have a special gift with divination. You might always be noticing these synchronicities or signs in your life, and you might be very in touch with your intuition because of this gift. And so if you're able to harness these gifts, I think that they're going to help you on this path a lot. So that's pretty cool. I think that these are some really great gifts to have. So now let's go ahead and look into, whoa, maybe you want to get a love reading at some point because I see something going on there. Let's go ahead and look into how you can get on this path. Okay, so currently where you're at right now. Yeah. A lot of reversals here. And I just checked real quick. My deck is not upside down. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm seeing here for you is definitely at this point on your path where you have been able to use some of these leadership skills and build your confidence and your strength and your foundation in life by getting this office job. So I definitely see that you have in the past empowered yourself to get this job, and you have gotten a good foundation, you have abundance flowing in, and that was just like the first step for you. That was like the first manifestation, was just trying to get some income and trying to get things kind of on point for you. But now you're at this point where you're realizing that this is not in alignment with your truth. You're like, ultimately, I do not want to be doing this office job forever. This is not necessarily fulfilling for me. And you know what? For some people, they love that type of environment. They love that type of work. We need people who will work in offices and who will do that type of work. So there are some people who are attracted to more of that traditional path, and that's great for them. But for you, you're thinking, I've always had this creative side to me, and I really want to find a way to do that more and to express it and to make a living out of it. So ultimately, you will be leaving this job behind. You will be finding a way to kind of take back moments from your life. Because what I'm seeing right now is it's stressful because it feels like this job is taking over your whole life. And so you're very unhappy because of it. You know, I'm so sorry that you're going through that. I've definitely been through that. It's like you need to ground these ideas and dreams. So the first step when you're trying to manifest anything, you're trying to manifest a way forward, trying to manifest a new job, trying to manifest a path where you can do your acting, singing, or dancing. The first step is to have a clear vision on what you want. So figuring out where you want to start and what skill you really want to develop would be awesome. Let's try to do that in this reading. The next step for you is going to be to have that clear vision. Make a vision board or write a list of what you want, because you can't move forward until you have that clear vision of what it is that you want. From there, you're going to need to figure out what tools, what materials, what supplies do you need to get on that path? What education do you need? What skills do you need? And start building those. And then from there, you're going to be able to stay consistent on that path, you know, because whatever you put out in the world is what you get back. You got to get momentum going towards your dreams. You got to build that momentum. And then the last step really is be willing to put the time in. Be willing to put the effort in and realize, you know, Rome isn't built in a day. This isn't something that's going to happen overnight. It's going to be a process. So you're going to need to get a foundation strong. You're going to need to find a job that's bearable for you, that provides you a lot of income and a flexible schedule, so you're able to practice and educate yourself more on your dream, and obviously have, you know, the income that you need and support. And that might even come down to making some kind of side hustle, so you're able to build the side hustle to support you, and maybe give you some more time to be able to work towards this dream. So let's go ahead and break it down. Let's go ahead and break it down, all right? Let's pull some more cards for you, see what's up here. You know, what's really great is this card's coming out saying you're the kind of person that has a lot of dedication. You're willing to stay dedicated to your dream. You're not the kind of person who gives up. And the most wonderful thing is when you do something that's your dream, even if you're not getting paid, even if you're in the training process, it's fun. It kind of gives your life that spark. It gives you something to wake up for every day. And so as cliche as it sounds, it's not always the destination, it's the journey. Like the journey getting where you want is going to be so fun. So let's go ahead and pull some more cards for you. This one's really sticking out. Okay, so this is saying, I feel like this belongs in another reading. This is saying that the challenge right now is that the resistance to where you are could be keeping you from moving forward. The first step for you is to think of ideas to be able to take your time back, to try to get yourself in a good vibration now, to find your happiness now. So that as you transition forward and out of this, you're in a good vibe. You're feeling decent. You're feeling pretty good. So you're putting good energy into what you love. Sometimes if you are so desperate to move out of a certain job and you place all of that burden onto your dream and you try to push it and you try to rush it to expand, it can make the process frustrating. So I'm kind of seeing this message here about first, of course, making a vision board of what you want, figuring out what area it is that you want to start with. Next, I see for you definitely taking lessons or working on your craft where you're at right now. So carving out once a week, whether it's on a weekend or like an evening off of work. And maybe right now you're stressed and your job is really difficult, but work on your health, make sure you're eating plenty of fruits and vegetables, that you're going to bed at a decent time, put those electronics away about a half hour before you go to bed and read a book or something so you can allow yourself to naturally get sleepy. Good sleep, eating healthy, do a little bit of yoga, exercise, take walks, and your body will start to feel better and you'll have a little bit more energy to put into the things that you want. You might have to budget a little bit. If your budget is really tight, maybe don't go out to eat as much or don't splurge on those little tiny things that add up. Work your budget around so you can afford that class that's, $25 a week or whatever. Try to squeeze an extra 100 or 2 out of your budget every month. Might be tough, but you can make it happen. And I see something about taking lessons and not being afraid to start at the bottom. And instantly that will boost your energy and make you feel so happy. Like just taking that lesson will make you so happy. When I first started tarot, it was really overwhelming and I was just kind of doing it for fun. And when I started thinking, wow, maybe I could start a channel, maybe I could do this professionally, it was overwhelming. I started my channel and I only had like 5 people following me. But at the same time, I was getting lessons and I was working with this other clairvoyant consultant who was teaching me about tarot and helping me with my healing process. And it actually in the moment just made me have so much fun, and all of a sudden kind of gave my life this boost. So I definitely see this message for you about, trying something like that, trying to get a mentor or a teacher or a coach to help you with this. Let's go ahead and pull some cards to see what area you're strongest in. Singing, dancing, acting. Singing. Dancing. Acting. Okay, immediately acting is looking really, really strong for you. I mean, here's the star. How cute is that? And then this is the 9 of Cups. And so talking about wishes being fulfilled. So I also see here with singing, this is a long path. Singing looks like a really long path, something you will also be working on. Dancing, I feel like if you started with that right away, something that I think it's like your schedule, the energy you would need for that, it looks a little intense right now. But acting looks like something that would seriously make you so happy, and like there's such strong energy around it. I mean, just look at these cards compared to the other ones, just visually. You can see how strong the energy is here. However, choose what feels best for you. If for some reason acting's coming out strong right now, but you're like, you know what, my true passion is singing, always trust yourself and your own inner guidance. This is just what the cards are saying, and I think this could be a good place to start. I actually see you doing all three, being that triple threat. So, you know, maybe make your vision board based off of acting. Go on Pinterest and make a secret mood board and post pictures of actors and people that inspire you. Post pictures of movies that you like, that you could imagine yourself being in, or certain roles you'd like to play. Pictures of people who are on stage, like taking a bow. Pictures of, behind a movie set, and, just anything that reminds you of what that would look like and feel like, and what your lifestyle would be like, what kind of place you would live, what kind of car you would drive, or what kind of friends you would have, what type of social gatherings you would go to, what you would wear, what kind of haircut you'd have, like all of that. Like, you're putting a vision of like your future self and your future life up. And if you want an example of that, I have this reading called Rainbow Harmony, How to Make a Vision Board Tutorial. You can just search that, How to Make a Vision Board Tutorial by Rainbow Harmony, and I show you actually how to use Pinterest to do that. So make your vision board first, because right now you're just like, I want to act. Okay, you need to have a clear vision in your head. Your third eye is very powerful based off of the things that you see. So making that vision board will be very powerful for you. The next thing you want to do is start researching acting classes in your local area. So maybe you're living in a small town, maybe you might have to drive like 45 minutes out of town or something, or perhaps you're in a suburb or a city. You'd be surprised. You can find, I have a lot of coaching clients. A couple of them are actually working on acting or performing arts, and so I've helped them research. And it's pretty much anywhere. I've Googled random places all over the world for people. I've found acting classes. I found theater groups. So I would search for that. If you can't find one where you're at, you can always look online and get like an online acting coach. That works sometimes too. Someone you can Skype with once a week or something like that. Or like trying an online course. And so that's something you want to do, is look that up and get the details and write down how much it costs and make the phone call. And then you're just going to kind of want to sit on that for a little bit. Maybe before you go to this acting class, you're going to feel a little bit nervous and kind of like, I don't know if I'm ready to just throw myself into this. So go on the internet and look up free resources. Like, look up beginner acting tips on YouTube. Make a playlist on YouTube. And if you don't want anyone to see it, you can make it secret, a private playlist just for yourself, and add a ton of like acting tips and videos and practice videos into a folder, and once a day watch one of the videos, so that every day you've made your vision board, you're looking at the vision board, you're adding to the vision board, you have the details on different acting classes in your area or online acting class options. And then you also have, every single day you're going through this folder that you've made of all these videos. And so you're just trying to get your mind and your body kind of slowly easing into the idea of like acting and taking classes and learning about terminology. Maybe even start practicing a monologue. That's something you're going to learn in acting. And when you go to audition as an actor, sometimes they'll ask for you to do a monologue. So you're always going to have to prepare a monologue. If you don't know what a monologue is, research that. And practice one in the mirror. Get used to looking in the mirror and talking to yourself and practicing to yourself, and kind of break out of your comfort zone a little bit. Ask a friend to, you can download free scripts on the internet. Find one that's just interesting and ask a friend to run some lines with you, just for fun, to kind of see what that would be like, and just start kind of getting your energy primed to do this. And then when you feel comfortable after a couple weeks of watching videos and seeing what it's like, and running lines with friends and trying the monologue and everything, and you get your budget together, sign up for the acting class that feels right for you. Something that might be good for you is theater. Even if you see yourself maybe doing television or movie acting, a lot of people who've done television and movies have a background in theater. A lot of your favorite actors, you know, probably have a background in theater. And the great thing about theater too is you meet so many amazing people, and there's just so much incredible energy involved. I actually haven't done theater, but back in the day I took acting classes. I worked in Los Angeles for a long time, had a lot of friends who were acting. I always tended to make friends with people who were in theater just because they're fun and artistic and energetic, usually kind of people. And, you know, I would help with their costumes sometimes, and it just seemed like such a great atmosphere and great environment. So something great that's going to come out of this path for you is amazing friendships. You know, a lot of times when you do what you love, you end up meeting other people who are interested in the thing that you are interested in. And those people are from your soul family, you know? And so these people end up being close friends to you. And so there's just so much to gain from this path, okay? So that's kind of where you need to start, okay? And you're definitely being asked to take a leap of faith here. This isn't going to happen overnight. Take your time to make the vision board. Take your time to do your research and to build your confidence. And when you're ready, you know, go get those classes. And that's your first step, okay? Now, let's talk about this office job. In the meantime, you're going to want to quit your job. Look, I'm going to be real with you. It's going to probably take years for you to be able to do acting or singing or dancing full time and to be able to be paid for that. It could take many years. It could take a decade. It's different for everyone. You know, Steve Carell, I don't know if you know who that is. He was the actor from The Office. He's a comedian. He's a brilliant actor. He was working on acting for years and years, and he didn't get his break until I think his late 30s, early 40s. And so it took him a long time. And before that, he was a telemarketer. You know, maybe research stories from other people who were acting. Some people start in childhood, they just grow up in the business. Some people get their break in their teens. Some people get their break when they're way older. It's just everyone's gonna get into the industry in different ways. Everyone's path is different. So just have that in mind. But I think adding this to your schedule and working towards this dream is going to be something incredible for you and make your day-to-day life more fun, and just knowing that you're working towards your dream and using your gifts and talents and doing what you love is going to be so worth it for you. So yes, there is going to be that frustration of this office job. So you've kind of got an option here. You know, you've got to work. That's just kind of where you're at. That's where I'm at too. This card has been talking a lot about some type of relationship, something in love that's going on with you. You know, maybe try some of my love pick a card readings, or just know that there's something going on here. This has been coming out a lot. But this is a talents and gifts reading. This is saying you're going to have to empower yourself to stay dedicated on this path. Something you can do, perhaps, is if this office job is frustrating for you, you might be able to get a job somewhere that has a different environment, or perhaps you can work somewhere that's more artistic, like working at an art supply shop, or maybe eventually doing some assisting work or working at the theater or something like that. But I do kind of see you need to stay dedicated on this path right now. So it reminds me of when I was, you know, before I did this, I was doing fashion styling, and before I did that, for many years, I was a swim teacher. And that's how I supported myself for 13 years as I was working on building my businesses. And, you know, it was incredible that day I was finally able to quit my swim job, my day job, and do the artistic things I love full time. But it's a path, you know. It took me 10 years of working for free and building my portfolio and educating myself before I was able to quit my swim job. So it takes time, you know. It might not take you 10 years. Everyone's path is different, but this is saying you are going to have some kind of work. Now, something that we see for you is you do have a gift with crafting and making things with your hands. You might be able to craft something or make something and like sell it online. For instance, this bag is made. It's actually from Peru. It's made by people by hand, and it's something that has been sold, that has been sold, and I purchased, or my friend actually purchased and gave it to me. This is a little necklace that somebody made that I purchased. And so there's like different things you can make with your hands. The amazing thing now about the internet is you can purchase things from people, you can put your products up, you can make like an Etsy shop, and that could be something that can help you to supplement your income on the side. And eventually maybe you'll be able to do that full time, work from home, do acting, maybe move somewhere that's closer to more acting opportunities. And I definitely see that taking off. But once again, that path might take a while. So this is telling you maybe it's time to work on a side hustle and then continue to educate yourself, okay? So I see something about a side hustle for you, maybe doing something crafty, using your hands. And then this is talking about leaving the job. I do actually see you perhaps leaving this job, but there's a message telling you make sure that you secure another job before you leave this one. You know, you are going to be taking that leap of faith and perhaps leaving this job. I see that energy really strong here, but it's your choice, you know. So this is saying if the job isn't suiting you, maybe go find another one, but you might realize the other one you might not like either. And then the other one you might not like either. It might just be that you're just very artistic and you want to live that artistic life. So you might just have to buckle down and hustle for a couple years at some job that's not really, you don't like as much, to get where you want to go. And that's okay. You can find a way to make your environment decent. Like maybe you end up somewhere with some nice coworkers, or maybe you do a job that the environment is really nice and you like your desk and you like, you know, where you're working, or you have a nice view in your office, or perhaps you do something a little bit different. I chose to work with children because I just had fun and I like to swim, and the job was crazy and exhausting sometimes, and there were like drama and stuff at the job, but I just decided to do that and stick with that for a long time because I knew that it was all right for me. It was fun, and I got to use some of my gifts doing it. So I do kind of see you manifesting a job that will be really good for right now, but I don't think it's going to be your ultimate thing. So remember that your circumstances currently do not reflect your final destination. So let's go ahead and pull some final messages for you. What I see, honestly, one of the greatest things about this path you might not realize is the amazing people that you will be connected with. I definitely see something about joining theater, joining a theater production. Yeah, and this is saying have the courage to listen to yourself, to listen to your heart, and to focus on you, you know? I feel like when you have your foundation, like you've got a job that's supporting you, and even if it's not the best, you're at this point where you can think, how do I want to invest my money? How do I want to invest my resources? And the best investment you can make is in yourself. I love to see today that you have these amazing performance arts gifts, and that was the first card that came out for you. And this is saying also have compassion for yourself. You know, maybe we can be our own toughest critic and sometimes think like, oh, how could I do that or whatever, but just give it a shot. Give yourself a chance. You definitely deserve that. And I think within a couple months, you're going to be having so much fun, and you're going to have such a huge transformation in your life. And this is saying branding. You know, I do see something about some type of brand or little business that you start. It could be making jewelry, or it could be sewing pillows, or making greeting cards, or something like that. You might start a little side hustle that ends up actually supporting you pretty well, so you can continue on this path. You know, empower yourself to follow through on your creative hunches. And this is saying follow your truth. I hope that this reading resonated with you. It was so cool to see all of these gifts you have and the synchronicities that came out in these cards. Thank you so much again for your support, and I'll see you later. Peace out.